All right, hello everyone. Welcome to my Sunday stock watch. It's for the week of August 10th, 2025. So let's get right into it with earnings. So this week, earnings that I'm watching for are going to be Monday after close BBAI. That's going to be a very important one for me. Tuesday before open, we have Circle, we have Pony AI, and then after close, CoreWeave is an important one. RGTI, Kava, all important ones to me. And then Wednesday, nothing for me before open, but after close, Cisco, I'll be watching for. And then Thursday, not a whole lot for me. And Friday, none for me. So those are the main earnings I'm personally watching for. But let's get right into it with our economic calendar. Monday, no news Monday, which will be important. Tuesday, CPI data. So that'll be really important. Wednesday, we have a couple Fed speakers. And then Thursday, we have PPI data coming out. And Friday, retail sales, import price index, industrial production, consumer sentiment. Those couple of things will be important and you will have to watch for. So let's get right into it. So QQQ, let me delete these little lines. Okay, let's go on to the daily chart. So QQQ is about to tap back into all-time highs that we created about a week ago or so, 2 weeks ago, at this 576.41 area. So I do expect tomorrow with a no news Monday, we do end up tapping into those all-time highs, and either we get a rejection or we get a continuation up and above there. Since QQQ, if we go on to overnight market, QQQ is currently sitting at 575.15, so we are obviously very close to tapping into those all-time highs once again. Monday, again, no news. I expect us to be very bullish and tap into those. The rest of the week, depending on CPI data, could be very bearish. So we'll go from there with CPI. Pre-market, we'll either see CPI data comes out badly, poorly, we then get some downside, or we just continue up above all-time highs. So couple areas that I'm watching for, obviously that 576.41, which is previous all-time high, and then other areas is going to be this 572.90 range. If we do break below there, I would expect us to head back into that 570 to 568. But for this week, obviously I'm a little bit I don't have too much to really predict what will happen this week because it really depends on CPI and PPI news that comes out. Next name that I'm watching for this next week, or we'll also talk about SPY real quick. So SPY, obviously, very close to those all-time highs at 641.54. We're not as close as we are with QQQ. QQQ, we're about $1 away. SPY, we're a little bit further away. We're about $3 away or so. So just keep that in mind. That could create a large kind of imbalance between NASDAQ and the S&P if the S&P does not, reach those all-time highs and reject them or, break above them. So just keep that in mind. I would be watching both this week to see where price goes. If, obviously CPI comes out bad, if we go into the hourly chart, I would like to see us break back below this 636, 635 area and then get a nice continuation back into 633, 632 range. Tesla, big name I'm watching for. We're currently sitting at 333 overnight market. So let's go into the 4-hour. I would love for us to break above 335 and get a really nice continuation up into 350 for this next week if all goes well. Again, it's pretty difficult when QQQ is nearing all-time highs, but something like Tesla is not. But we are at a pretty close breakout point. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Nvidia is also nearing those all-time highs as well. I do expect us to tap into those at 184.06. Nvidia is currently sitting at, let's take a look, 182.27. So we're close to those, and I would definitely expect us to tap into them this next week. Then we have coin, which is an interesting one for me. I'm definitely going to be watching coin. We gained about $10 overnight market, so we're currently sitting at 318 on coin. I would love for us to break back above this 323, even hold above 318 and get a very nice continuation into this 330 to 335 area. But that heavily depends on Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin could obviously reject that 120, 121 area. And if we do, that means Coinbase is going to go back down. But if we don't reject that before tomorrow, if we don't tap into it before tomorrow, we could ride the wave up on coin starting tomorrow and then maybe catch some downside on it. Same goes with MSTR. MSTR is sitting at around 407. So we are above this key 405 area. That's a pretty strong, level for me. So I love to see that. And if we can, continue to hold above there, I would love to see us reach into, 418 to even 420 range, but we haven't seen that in quite a while. So it will really depend on what Bitcoin does. Next couple names I'm looking at, Meta. So Meta is currently sitting at 770. And I would love to see all-time highs once again at this 784 area, 784.57, and get a potential reject from there, from those all-time highs. And we could definitely ride the wave up since it's sitting at 770. I would love to see a nice continuation up tomorrow, maybe back above this, 572 area and catch that wave up. Next name that I'm going to be looking at is going to be Circle. So Circle, not tomorrow. I won't be really looking at it, but on Tuesday we do have earnings. So I would, love to see some nice movement come out of Circle. Either that's some upside or some downside. But I definitely think, it will produce some nice opportunities going into Tuesday market open. So either we potentially, break through this 151, 150 area and, we just absolutely sink because of earnings. So we'll see. Or we do get some upside. Maybe Bitcoin is continuing up and we break, above 171 and just get a very nice continuation. So I'm open to playing either side of it, honestly. But yeah. Palantir is a good look. Let's take a look at Palantir. So we're currently sitting at 188.19, which I think is a new all-time high once again. So now that we're at all-time highs on Palantir, I'm definitely going to be marking out pre-market high and low to get a clear view of range if I want to be trading Palantir going into tomorrow. Either reject at the high or, a breakout at the high. We just continue into 200. Or we get a, break of the low and we get some downside on it. It really just all depends on kind of what we see. But those are mainly all the names that I am looking for going into this next week. But remember, please play it safe, play it careful. Again, nearing these all-time highs gets really volatile, and we have a lot of news coming out this next week. So be very cautious, and I also believe that Trump is speaking tomorrow, Monday, August 11th. So yeah, be aware of that, be careful, and thank you guys so much for watching my Sunday Stock Watch. I appreciate every single one of you all, and let me know if you guys have any questions.